Hey guys and welcome back to Reddit Reader. I am Reader and I read stories on Reddit and today we are taking a look at r/TIFU.
TIFU by making a love declaration to the gas man. The gas man came round for the annual inspection. Given COVID rules and my general social awkwardness, I hid away in the living room so he could do his work upstairs and in the kitchen. Then I get a call from the local hospital with an update on a family member that is in the intensive care unit. I start calling other family members to share this update and end up in an emotional and reflective conversation with my dad. Just as our chat comes to a close and I'm getting ready to say bye, the gas man pops his head through the living room door and says I'm done. It's all good and gives me a thumbs up. Now I've found myself in two very different conversations at the same time and my socially awkward brain has a meltdown and combines what I want to say to the gas man with what I want to say to my dad. And whilst holding the phone to my ear and making eye contact with the poor gas man, these words fall out of my mouth loudly: cheers, speak to you later, love you. The poor bloke looked like a deer in headlights and it was almost an insult how fast he got out my house. Realizing what I'd just said to him, I decided to run to the door in a desperate attempt for love you to not be the last thing I said to him. Already knowing the answer, I shouted, so everything's okay then? His eyes widened with what I can amply assume was panic. He nodded and walked, very quickly for a plump bloke, to his van. I will forever be known as the girl who declared her love during a socially distanced gas inspection. I don't think he'll be returning next year. To be fair though, he did a good job and even tidied up after himself. So maybe here in the love declaration. Haha. The LDR. While saying goodbye to my dad on the phone, the gas man said something to me and my brain mixed up what I wanted to say to both men and I shouted love you to the gas man whilst making eye contact with him. Cringe.
The text you just heard was from user SnailyKaylee and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU getting scammed into donating $2,000 to a real charity. Well, I'm not having a good day. I don't even know where to start with this. I guess I can start with do not fall for scams. My younger, 18F sister was talking to a guy named Mike, very original name, who added her on Yubo. He offered to help with financial troubles in exchange for talking to him. You see, Mike is an older guy, with not very many friends. He wants to give my younger sister $500 a week to be his friend. Sounds like a great deal, right? Wrong. My sister decides she wants a sugar daddy, so she accepts Mike's proposal and adds him on Snapchat so they can communicate better. He starts out with the usual where do you live? And do you have a bank account so I can give you your allowance? Unfortunately, she doesn't have a bank account so she suggests Cash App or Venmo. Mike responds with well, I can only send a check so you will have to open a bank account. Me, being the great older brother that I am, suggests that Mike send the check to me and just give her the money after the fact. I can only imagine how Mike's eyes lit up after reading that. Mike responds with okay babe, I'm writing up a check of $2,500 for you now, okay? As soon as you have the funds available, I want you to make a donation for charity organization Orphanage 2000 so you will keep 500. I want to give you a HONESTY test and if you pass I'll add 300 to your allowance. At this point, I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? That seems a little fishy. Why wouldn't he just donate to the charity himself? Whatever, just send the check. The check arrives in my Gmail inbox, $2,500 just like he said. Now, I'm 20 and I've never written or received a check, so I'm like, cool, looks legit. It is very obvious now that it wasn't, nothing bad will happen if I deposit it. So I go to my mobile banking app, scan the check off of my computer. Easy. I get an email from my bank saying it will be on hold for 3 days, not too bad. 3 days go by, and now, the cherry on top. Almost all the communication stayed between my sister and Mike. I mean, it's her sugar daddy, I don't need to know what they're talking about. But my sister fails to tell me one important thing. Mike was wanting to provide the information on where to send the charity money in the form of a Zelle payment. But all I got was the name of the charity. I look in my account, $2,500 has been deposited, green check mark and everything. I'm like cool, now I just gotta make the donation and send her the $500. I send her part of the money to her Cash App and I make the donation to the charity. I send her a screenshot of the transaction so she can send it to Mike so she can pass his test. I can't even begin to imagine the horror on Mike's face when he sees the screenshot confirming that the $2,000 that was supposed to be sent to his Zelle account actually got donated to the charity he was pretending to be. Mike messages her, cancel that now. That's the wrong info. Why didn't you message me before? Cancel it. My sister messages me saying I need to cancel the donation and I'm like, it's already gone out of my account, I can't cancel it. Why would it matter if it isn't the right charity? He's not getting the money. And it hits me. Fuck. It's a scam. I should have seen the red flags sooner. I tell my sister to get screenshots of everything and block Mike. I called my bank to try and get the donation refunded, but they tell me that since the money already left, it can't be refunded. I'm like, okay, at least it didn't go to the scammer. The check ended up bouncing the next day, which I didn't know could happen because I've never used checks before. The LDR. Sugar Daddy Mike, scammer, wanted to pay my sister $500 a week, but she didn't have a bank account. I offered to receive her check, which was for $2,500. The extra was to be sent to charity, Mike through Zelle, but it ended up going to the real charity because my sister failed to communicate his wishes properly to me.
The text you just heard was from user SWIFTERBRO11 and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU by taking money from a homeless man. So this was actually about 2 years ago, but I wanted to post it here. I was downtown with two of my friends and we were sitting at a crosswalk waiting for the streetlights to turn red so we could cross. I was carrying a backpack with me and wearing some pretty raggedy clothes, as I tend to do. I sat down because I was tired and it was really hot outside, mind you this is summertime in South Carolina. A man with a bike and a fanny pack full of coins walks up to me and says, "Excuse me young man, how old are you?" I told him I was 15 and he starts digging through his bag of change. It hit me almost immediately what was happening, but I was too in shock to speak up and tell him to keep his money and that he needed it much more because I was not homeless. He handed me about $3 in quarters and I just stared at him dumbfounded, mouth slightly agape. All I could mutter out was a little thank you and then he walked off. I put the change in my bag and my friends couldn't contain their laughter. I'm pretty sure I ended up giving the money to another homeless person I saw once we continued walking, so I felt a little bit less like a terrible person, but I just couldn't shake that feeling. The LDR, a homeless man gave me money because he thought I was homeless and I was too shocked to refuse it.
The text you just heard was from user Mintasushi and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU by sitting cross-legged in my office chair and fucking up my knee. Obligatory this did not happen today. The preface, I am young and healthy and have never had knee problems prior to this. Anyway, here's the story. The year is 2019. I was sitting at my desk and, at the time, thought sitting cross-legged was more comfortable. After a while, I uncrossed my legs and laid my feet flat in front of me. I went to push the ground to scoot back and, excruciating pain behind my left knee. I looked down at my left knee and tried to straighten it. Pain again. So much pain, in fact, that I could not move it or stand up. So there I was, sitting in my chair, unable to straighten my leg or get up. I sat there for maybe an hour trying to get rid of the pain, but it was just stuck. At this point I was crying and I called downstairs to my mom. It went something like this. "Mom." "What?" "Come up here." "Why?" "Just come." She walks up the stairs and that's when I hit her with the "I can't get up." Panic ensues. She starts talking about the I can barely breathe. Eventually we call an advice nurse and I tell her the situation. She has no idea what to say other than wait it out with pain meds or go to the because I guess this isn't a common problem. I spent a long time googling for the answer but found nothing about a stuck knee other than one website about knee locking, which seemed to be what I was experiencing. Maybe 3 hours had passed by now and I suddenly had the grand idea to try to get onto my bed and lay down. Sitting wasn't doing me any good after all. And after a half an hour of pain and tears, I somehow did it. I still couldn't put even the slightest amount of pressure on the leg, but it was a start. I laid there for the rest of the evening with my knee propped up on some pillows and pain meds at my side, gradually straightening my leg out. It had gone from 90 degrees to 120 degrees and I was feeling good. Then, around 11 p.m., as I was pushing my knee into the pillow, I went a little too far. I felt something move in the back of my knee. Wait a second. No pain? Not even a little bit. I apprehensively stood up at the side of my bed and did some sort of dance. And that was it. It was sort of anticlimactic, honestly. I was allowed to stay at home from school the next day, though. The LDR. I uncrossed my legs and my knee got stuck for 6 hours until magically fixing itself.
The text you just heard was from user Real Idiot Hours and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU your worst nightmare as a teenager probably happened to me. Facebook has reminded me with this memory that will never be deleted from my mind. I think your worst nightmare as a teenager probably happened to me. I was a 16 years old theater actor with a decent role in a child play where most of the audience were children with their parents. The theater was in the opera house in my country, where it hosted about 300 people in one of the theaters there, and it was full complete that day with people standing on their feet. I had this scene where I rotated and showed my back to the audience, but I had a huge problem with my jeans shorts falling a little bit because of the costume I was wearing. I was playing Hulk in this show, representing the anger and violence between people that ruined the earth. I was wearing a green stretch with cotton under it as muscles. Me and my older brother made this custom. After a while into the show my jeans shorts couldn't hold anymore and fall as soon as I rotated and kneeled. My ass was fully exposed to the audience as they were laughing so hard at it. Most of the audience were kids, and to make things worse, I standed up, as I should do at this scene, showing my penis to the other 15 actors in front of me. Most of them were 14 to 16 years old girls, showing them what a real penis looks like. I pulled my shorts up in a very awkward way that ruined the character, as it was a very serious one with no comedy in it whatsoever. I continued the show and cried a lot when it finished finally, but I had to do another show after it with another different play, so I had to keep my focus, and I was playing a priest. People were still laughing and giggling as it was the same audience. I washed the green color of my face while crying, and the director assistant was drowning my head under the tap because I had only 10 minutes to get into the next custom. He wasn't revenging or mad at me, he was an experienced actor, but it's only 10 minutes. Then I realize from the witnesses that my ass is so good, but my penis is average. It was my fault because I could have used a belt or rope when I felt something is not right with my pants and kept adjusting it like a fucking idiot backstage. And yeah, I was wearing underwear, but the pants took it down as well because I was keeping it up for more than 20 minutes in the show. It failed me. The show was so good, but my jeans shorts has ruined it. I had to do the same play again with the same costume in a different theater, but I used a very tight belt that affected my performance a little bit. And to keep things extra bad, the 8 to 10 girls that saw my average friend was in my high school. Actually, there was a lot of my friends from high school in the audience, so word spread out, but thanks God, no one confronted me with it or made fun of me to my face. And to keep things extra bad, this was the only show I made that was uploaded to the YouTube, so everyone had to prove of what Mason's ass looked like. I tried to find it, but I think it was deleted, but I still have a photo of the first 2 minutes into the play showing how my jeans looked like. When I met the director of the show backstage, he was so fine with that, saying don't worry, it's normal in theater, you will get used to it. The school's supervisor, however, was screaming at me while washing my face and adjusted my falling pants and putting his hands in it, touching my ass. In front of everybody standing in the theater bathroom watching my pathetic ass crying. I have done 3 more shows in 2 years after that, being the main character of every one of them, but unfortunately I can't find any chance in college now, but the good thing is I wouldn't feel embarrassed if I showed my ass to anyone in the world. The LDR in summary, my pants fell on stage in front of more than 300 people back when I was a teenager in high school, and my whole school knew about it with a video as a proof, and always wear a belt.
The text you just heard was from user Mason Ahmed and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit. That's it for this video. I am Reddit Reader and I read Reddit. In this video we read our TIFU. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.